What's going on, everybody? And this is my review for Superman and Lois episode 12, titled Through the Valley of Death. Now, Superman and Lois took a 2-week break, which I was very sad about because I love this show. I look forward to each episode week to week. I think the direction is pretty good, the story, the characters are all interesting, and Tyler Hoechlin is underrated. He really is a great Superman. I'm loving him so much. He's way better than he was in Supergirl. There, he was kind of a jobber, a little bit disrespected, but here, he has his own show, and he's absolutely killing it. Now, in the last episode, we got to see Superman, Clark Kent, submit to Tal-Rho, Morgan Edge, because if he didn't, Morgan Edge threatened to kill Superman's family. And Morgan Edge's plan is to create Krypton again. That's why he was sent to Earth, was for his people to live on. And the people in Smallville were being manipulated because Morgan Edge, a big businessman, was coming in, creating jobs for people. And basically what he was doing was he was putting Kryptonian consciousness into the people of Smallville so Krypton could live on. And his main plan was to take over the world. Now, we actually got to see that in the Earth that John Henry Irons is from, where Superman turned evil and all the Kryptonians took over Earth and they absolutely killed everybody. And that's why John Henry Irons came to this Earth, to kill this Earth Superman, because in fear of the same thing happening. So Superman is at Tal-Rho's Fortress of Solitude. It's in the desert. You know, it's kind of a, you know, they both grew up on Earth. But one grew up kind of in the desert. The other one has his Fortress of Solitude in the snow and the ice and stuff like that. So, you know, and Clark Kent had a very good childhood, while Tal-Rho, while Morgan Edge didn't. So there's definitely differences there between the two. And we got to see Superman and Tal-Rho's Fortress of Solitude being tested, being converted, to being turned into an evil Superman. And the ending for the last episode was amazing, where Lois Lane had to call up John Henry Irons and say, "You were right. It's happening. Superman is gone bad." Love the ending, and we had to wait 2-3 weeks for this episode, which was titled Through the Valley of Death. And the main plot for this episode was Lois and John Henry Irons can't seem to agree on the best way to stop Morgan Edge. Jonathan encourages Jordan to focus on strengthening his powers to help locate their dad. An old friend is brought in to help with the search. So yeah, I think this episode was good. It's not one of the best of the seasons. I think it was pretty straightforward and pretty simple in terms of action. There wasn't anything amazing with VFX or, you know, a big fight sequence or anything like that. There was one at the end, but it wasn't like, oh my god, this is unbelievable or anything. But I thought it was a solid episode because, you know, Lois Lane thinks that Superman can be turned back to good, while John Henry Irons believes that they need to kill Superman because on his Earth, he went bad, and nobody was able to stop him, and he didn't turn good. He was just pure evil and killed everybody, even Lois Lane. So that's them two kind of button heads on that. You also got Jonathan and Jordan working together, because Jordan, you know, he has his father's powers, but he can't really work them as good as his father yet because he just got them. But he's trying to use his super hearing to find out where his dad is. He can't concentrate, but Jonathan is there and he actually helps him. He's like, you can do this. You know, you are capable of doing this. Just concentrate and you can do it. And eventually he does hear his father and he's able to tell John Henry Irons, you know, Steel, where his father is, so he can go and stop him or convert him. You've also got a kind of a side story going on with Kyle Cushing, Sarah Cushing, and Lana Lang Cushing, where the people of Smallville are turning on them because Kyle Cushing was one of the people who said, Morgan Edge is a great guy, he's bringing jobs, everyone should trust him. And then Morgan Edge turned out to be this bad Kryptonian who was turning the people of Smallville into Kryptonians. And of course Lana Cushing was working for Morgan Edge, and she was bringing people through the program that ended up Morgan Edge putting Kryptonian consciousness into them and changing their lives and affecting them and stuff like that. So that's what's going on with those people, putting graffiti on their house and just treating them badly. So that's kind of the side story that was going on with them. But the main kind of story was John Henry Irons and Lois Lane. Do they kill Superman? Can he be converted back? Also, the big kind of cameo for this episode was John Diggle. He made his appearance in this show. Now, you'll remember him from the Arrow show. He was a big factor in that, big time. And I actually think he's going to be popping up in a lot of the CW shows, which is pretty cool. Now, I didn't want Superman and Lois to be tied to the rest of the CW, The Flash, Arrow, and Supergirl. They loosely connected and referenced it in some ways in past episodes, but it wasn't like, oh, remember when this happened in Supergirl or The Flash? You know, they didn't. They had their own story, which I preferred. But John Diggle coming in, I thought was a pretty good addition to this episode, and I'd actually like to see him come back. You know, I thought he was a pretty good character when I got to see him in Arrow, and maybe the writing and the directing there just wasn't good enough for him as a character to be propelled. And look, maybe the writing on the Arrow show as the seasons went on, it just wasn't good enough for his character to kind of propel and to be even better. Now, I actually don't have a problem with them bringing in maybe Supergirl or John Diggle to Superman and Lois, because Superman and Lois is a different show. The budget is much higher, the writing, the directing seems to be much better. So if they can bring those characters into this show, but with the same quality that the show is presenting episode to episode, then I think it would actually be pretty good for those characters. But if Superman and Lois starts cutting the budget, or starts to, you know, the VFX gets really poor and the writing gets poor, very much like Arrow did in the later seasons, and Flash and Supergirl, then I will be disappointed. And I hope this show stays away from that. I hope that the quality can stay there for season 2, for season 3, season 4, however long this show goes on for. So I think John Diggle was pretty good. I liked him. I would actually like to see him pop up again, but I think he's going to pop up in other shows as well. So that's pretty cool. Maybe he'll end up getting his own show. I don't know if it would be something to watch, would it be interesting, but definitely I thought he was a nice addition to this episode, even though he didn't really have much to do. He kind of just had a lot of dialogue, which was good. He had a kind of conversation with John Henry Irons and, you know, Lois Lane. So yeah, I'd actually like to see him pop up again. But John Henry Irons, of course, on his Earth, Superman went bad. He killed his wife, Lois Lane. He's lost his daughter as well. He came to this Earth to stop Superman. And then when Lois Lane convinced him that this Superman's different, he will not turn back, John Henry Irons was like, okay, I believe you. I'll go live a life on this Earth. I'll try and do something. But then he's called back into it because Superman has gone bad. He was right. And he wants to kill this Superman because he doesn't believe that he can be turned back. And Morgan Edge, you know, his plan is coming together nicely. He thinks he has Superman, and he thinks he can take over Earth, make a new Krypton, you know, impress his father because his father's very hard on him. But Superman is kind of fighting back. He doesn't want to submit entirely. He's look, Lois Lane discovers that when Morgan Edge puts the Kryptonian consciousness into people, they know what they're doing, they just can't stop it. And Kyle Cushing says, yeah, I could feel that I was doing something bad. I was trying so hard to stop it, but I just wasn't powerful enough. I just couldn't do it. But Superman seems to be trying to fight back against this. And Lois Lane says to John Henry Irons, look, the people who were, you know, filled with this Kryptonian consciousness, this DNA, were able to realize what they were doing. They were trying to fight back. So if we can just tell Superman who he is, remind him of what he is, then maybe he can fight back against this. But John Henry Irons is like, no, it's not going to happen whatsoever. But John Henry Irons has like a B plan as well. He has this device that he created on his planet to kill the Superman that went evil. And he's able to, you know, get it built on this Earth as well. You know, you've got Lois Lane's father, General Lane, helping him make it as well, scientists and stuff like that. So they actually do end up making the device that can kill or weaken Superman enough for them to kill him. So he doesn't know whether or not he's going to be able to use it or not against Superman, because Lois Lane wants him to try and convert him back to good. As I said, Jordan was trying to find his father with his super hearing. They also had Jonathan go to John Henry Irons and was like, my dad is Superman, but he's a good dad. You know, he is good. There's something there. And John Henry Irons kind of has second thoughts about killing Superman as well. Jordan's able to tell John Henry Irons where exactly Morgan Edge and his father is located. John Henry Irons suits up in his steel, you know, outfit, into his steel costume, and goes to take on Superman with the intention to kill him. He brings the powerful device that he created on his Earth as well. So his plan is to kill Superman, but Lois Lane is listening in and is like, he can be changed, he can be converted back. The two of them have a fight sequence which was okay, it wasn't anything amazing. And at the end of it, it just looks like that John Henry Irons can't kill Superman. But he chooses not to. He chooses to talk to Superman instead and tell him who he is. Lois Lane is there as well through voice. And Superman is converted back. And Morgan Edge knows that he will not be able to get this Superman to submit, and then Morgan Edge is captured thanks to John Henry Irons and Superman. They use that kind of device on him, and then John Henry Irons and Superman seem to be a team now, which is pretty badass and pretty cool, and they're able to put Morgan Edge into kind of a Kryptonian Krypton cell. So, and you had Morgan Edge just before he was captured. He went up to space with that device that's able to turn people into Kryptonians. I don't know if he destroyed it or absorbed it, but he did that, and then he was caught by John Henry Irons with the device, the powerful device that's able to stop Kryptonians, and then they put him into prison. But just when he's in prison, he cracks a smile. So what is Morgan Edge's big plan? He always has a plan up his sleeve, so I'm interested to see where that goes for the next episode. But yeah, this episode was pretty good. It was okay. I liked John Henry Irons and Superman teaming up. I'd love to see more of that. I'm interested to see what Morgan Edge's master plan is now that he's been captured, and how will the Cushings deal with the people of Smallville turning on them and, you know, putting graffiti on their house and just really making them feel really bad for, you know, promoting Morgan Edge as this big guy that was going to help the people of Smallville. And it was cool that Jordan was able to use his powers to find his father as well. I wonder, will Jonathan get powers at some stage? I wonder, that's something I'm very curious about. Will he ever get powers? Maybe eventually, just when someone's about to die, he might be able to stop them and use Kryptonian powers that way, which will be interesting. But yeah, okay episode. I thought it was pretty good, enjoyable. Looking forward to next week's episode already. Loving this show. Can't wait to binge it all when it's finished, and I think the quality has been brilliant. And John Diggle showing up, I would love to see him come back, you know, because the writing and the direction of this show is much better than maybe the later seasons of Arrow, so I think he's being represented in a much better way. So I'd be okay with Supergirl or maybe other characters coming into this show as well, but I just don't want the budget or the quality to decrease. But guys, what was your thoughts on Superman and Lois episode 12? Did you like it? Did you hate it? You could have. I don't know. But I thought it was an okay, enjoyable episode. I'm looking forward to next week's one already. Guys, thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next video. Enjoy your day, guys. And Superman and Lois, for me, is one of the best superhero shows out there right now. That's how highly I rate it.